Okay, here we are, guys, for round two. Looks like we're going to be on the play. Happy to be on the play. And definitely happy with his hand also. Certainly has a lot of our good cards. Find out in a moment here what we're up against. So hopefully we get the combo off this game, but the Wolfrun matchup is definitely just a rough matchup if they bring in a lot of their anti-artifact hate spells, which can really make it a harder matchup there. So looks like we are up against Delver. So let's take a quick peek here. It is worth having a look at our opponent's deck just to find out, number one, if he's playing Delver Blade or if he's playing Esper Delver, and hopefully we can check that out real quick and find out. So it looks like he is playing Delver Blade. The Stalker is not usually seen. Oh, never mind, that's our opponent. Looks like he is probably also playing Delver Blade with the Sword of One piece, though. Yep, and there's a Enchanter's Pike. Okay, so happy to drop out the Puresteel Paladin. Hopefully it doesn't flip and we can... Oh, never mind. I guess he got the flip off. So he'll most likely be sitting back with Mana Leak for whatever we have to play. Okay, so I think... What is our play here? I think we bash in, and then, yeah. We could go for Trinket Mage. He's just going to counter it. I think the play here is actually, because we know he has the Mana Leak, we're going to go end of turn, Snapcaster, double gut shot his Aberration, so that way if he wants to counter it, he has to do it on his own turn, so we have a free hand with a Trinket Mage next turn. I think that is going to be our play here. And actually, with that in mind, we're going to do it on his upkeep, so he doesn't get the benefit of an extra card. Okay, let's have a look here. So now we're just going to Snapcaster Gutshot in response, which we're very happy to do. Oops. Yeah, okay. That actually worked out quite well. So now we've got his threat off the table, and hopefully we can start laying down the beats. Now if he goes into like Geist here, it's going to be a little hairy, just because Geist is so problematic. Luckily he does not have the Geist. And especially Geist with like Mana Leak or Vapor Snag backup is just a real pain for this deck, so I think being able to board into Image really, really helps there. Okay, so now he just wants to leak the Puresteel. And I think we're just going to try to bait it with the Trinket Mage, just because it's more expensive anyways, and we need Puresteel, I think, to get some more value out of a lot of our threats. So I think that we're just going to bait it out with Trinket Mage. And I guess he's... Yeah, okay. We could also just sit here and then next turn cast Puresteel, which may not be the worst, actually. Yeah, because I mean, we've got the land coming. There's no reason to give him a free Mana Leak. I think we're just going to sit. Okay, so luckily we picked up Mortar Pod, which is exactly what we want to be doing here. So we play around Leak, get the Mortar Pod his Delver, hopefully stay ahead, and then hopefully just completely make his Mana Leak worthless by just playing around the rest of the game here if we can. That's annoying, but that's fine. It does stop our combo, but at the same time, like, we're certainly fine with that exchange. So now, I think we're just going to go ahead and drop Trinket Mage to be a little bit better with mana. And if he wants to Mana Leak into Snapcaster, or never mind, you know, like double gut shot this, that'd be fine. We don't care about that. So now we can just go Puresteel into Collar, see what we draw, and I think we're just gonna want to bash in. Well, no, then we can just equip. So that actually is better. I think we just go Puresteel into Collar, draw a card, and then equip Trinket Mage. So if he wants to double leak this, that's fine. Okay, you got me. No reason to play Collar this turn, just because if we draw Puresteel, we can get a little bit more value, especially since we can't even equip this turn anyways. So provided he doesn't have Geist, we're in a pretty good spot here. Okay, so now, definitely happy to drop out Collar. Steel Sabotage, maybe? Or a Misstep? Sure. I guess here we can just drop down Mortar Pod. I mean, we get more value with Paladin later, but it also stops blocking shenanigans with the Snapcaster, so I think it's fine to play Mortar Pod here. So he has 2 Delvers to pick up for targets for the More Than Haunt. I mean, we're at 12, we probably just want to take this out with Mortar Pod right here. Just kind of stay up on life. Now we've got the other pod back up. No real reason, I think, to... Well, I mean, we could play this out. I guess to stay up on life we could. I mean, if we draw Paladin, it's a little bit better to hold it. I guess just, like, kind of barring if he has, like, the... or the enchantment. +2/+2 flying enchantment. It's probably a little bit better to play it. We lose a little bit of value if we draw Paladin, but I think that's fine. This way we take a little bit less damage. Okay, so there's the collar. That's exactly what we're looking for. Happy to throw that on. And hopefully to start winning the race here. Not sure what he's got in hand, maybe like a land and possibly like gut shot or mental misstep. Not really sure. But we're just happy that we haven't seen Geist yet. Or even a Snapcaster to give him fodder. Okay, there's Delver. I think we just want to end of turn gut shot that. Well, we could even wait till our turn, it doesn't really matter. Since we're happy to play around Mana Leak. Okay, definitely happy we've got gut shot now. It's like if he has Mental Misstep here, he gets us, but then we just kill it with Trinket Mage and bash in for 2 next turns. That's fine. So now if we draw any creature, we win on the table. Unfortunately, we did not. That's fine. Actually, we're very happy with Vapor Snag here because it gives us a chance to draw another Abyssin's Collar, which we're happy to see. Or Grafdigger's Cage. Don't really care about Grafdigger's Cage that much here. We just want, I think, another Collar. He does have Snapcasters, but I think being able to get the extra value off of the Collar is going to be a bit better. I mean, I suppose we could have held it there in case we drew Paladin. So maybe it should have been better to hold it there and then be able to double equip Mortarpod, but I guess this way we play around Mental Misstep, depending on how many he's running. Okay, that's definitely helpful. I think though we just, let's see, so if he has Snapcaster, we could just like Trinket Mage for Grafdigger's Cage, shut down the graveyard, and then kind of play around that. We can also use the other creature, the Trinket Mage, with a Mortarpod to be able to take out his token and then hopefully kill him. I think we Do we want the other collar? I think we just want Grafdigger's Cage here. So there's the Snapcaster. Or maybe not on this step. Okay, so he's got Snapcaster. I guess he's going to blow up the mortar pod for the 2 life. Which is fine. Okay, so now I think he's going to be able to block, definitely. We want to be able to stop him equipping War and Peace next turn. So because he's going to make a guy and then equip. I'll have 2 equip phases, basically. I think that we want to go ahead and equip Mortar Pod and Collar. So I think we equip Mortar Pod to our creature, bash him for 3, see what he does, and then have the other Collar equipped. Or have the other Mortar Pod equipped, I should say. So like now if we Mortar Pod his guy, then we equip Mortar Pod to the bird. I think that'll get us there. And then next turn he can make a bird and then double equip. So I guess he can equip it to a bird. Yeah, I think we do actually. Otherwise we could, let's see, otherwise we could equip the other Absence Collar and then take out the Snapcaster. No, I think we just take out the Snapcaster now. So this way, like, he makes a bird, he won't be able to equip it on the attack. He won't be able to gain any life. And I think that's going to help us get there. Like, he can make a bird and equip it for defense. But then we just attack through with Trinket Mage and force him to block. Yeah, so now we just double equip Collar, and then if he doesn't block, he dies. Then we have 2 birds to his none, and are in a pretty strong position. Okay, that definitely helps. Let's see. We just equip everything, and then bash in, we trade, we get 2 birds, and a champion on the ground. Should be in a good spot. Now, actually, there's no point to even equipping the mortar pod. I think we just equip these 2, and then if he doesn't block, we equip the mortar pod post-combat and kill him. And that way, so if he does block, which he'll have to do, then we're able to equip champion with a mortar pod after combat. I think that's the play. Just to maximize our mana here. Now, we probably should have equipped Mortar Pod first in case he had the gut shot, so we play around that. Just a slight little variation there, but should be in a pretty good spot right here. I think he's got no creatures in the graveyard. Should be dead on the table. I mean, I guess he can play Snapcaster Mage here, but it doesn't really help him too much. Okay, so he does have the Snapcaster, which he can't use with anything in the yard. Then we just equip Mortar Pod and we win, I think. Well, we equip Mortar Pod to one of the birds, or one of the humans, take out Snapcaster, and then equip to the other human, ready for the next inevitable creature. And I think that's game. I suppose we might even bother with the collar, so we just collar, then Mortar Pod and Mortar Pod. Yeah, that works. That should be game. Okay. So up against Delver Blade, we are going to be bringing in, let's see, Spellskite, Image for Geist, 4 Mental Missteps, Life Staff, and Gale. He's probably going to be bringing in Dungeon Geists, I assume, and then also for Delver here. So we're going to be cutting Probe, Grafdigger's Cage, and then I believe we're also cutting Ponder, and we can shift down to 2 collars here. I think that's the play. I'd like having more Ponder or more collars in the deck, but there's enough other threats we have to cover our bases for that I think having 2 we still essentially have 6 with Trinket Mage, so we can still get the get that going. I think this looks good. We could potentially like go down to 3 gathers and have like 3 collars there. Might be correct, but I mean being able to recur gather with Snapcaster Mage with champion in play is pretty busted. Especially if we can redirect the Vapor Snags with Spellskite, or just outright counter them with Misstep. And having an effective 8 Missteps really makes me feel better about this matchup. So one of the unfortunate downsides of specifically aiming our board towards beating Delver is that it makes us weaker against decks like Wolfrun. So in the last match, as an example, we didn't have the mana leaks in the board to help us really beat that matchup. So a shift may be needed, but I kind of set up the sideboard with the anticipation we'd be running into a lot of Delver. And this hand is fine. Obviously we'd like to see Misstep, or possibly like Mortar Pod here. But thank God he didn't have the turn 1 Delver, so this hand is still quite good though. I think the key though in that last game was definitely invalidating his mana leaks by, you know, essentially getting to a point where he basically had to 2-for-1 himself just to get the mana leak off. Which will definitely not always happen. But we did have the opportunity in that game with the amount of flood we were seeing. So I guess he could potentially be Esper Delver here. You only see this in Esper Delver, so I assume he is Esper Delver. Did not expect that. With the Rune Chanter's Pike, I really expected him to be regular Delver Blade. It's possible that he has like a Transformation sideboard into Esper Delver. I guess if that's the case, we should consider putting Grafdigger's Cage back in, but could just be that he's just running Evolving Wilds in Delver Blade. Fortunately, we didn't get the Mortar Pod there, but yeah, there's actually not all that amazing right now, so that's fine. I think here we just want to... Oh, that's unfortunate. I guess we're not going to be comboing off this game. So I guess we just got to beat down. So I think assuming that he has the mana leak, I think we're just going to try to bait it out with Life Staff here. See what he does. We could also just image on Paladin and then potentially get double value out of Life Staff. Which I think is honestly fine. Like he obviously gets us with Gut Shot. So it might be better to keep the image for his Geist, just because we don't have that many answers to it. We'd get a little bit more value off of Life Staff this way. But, you know, definitely seeing, already seeing Gut Shot might potentially be better to save that. You know, I think actually we're going to do it. I think we're going to play it because we want to try to get 2 cards in one turn here. And also because this way, if he has the leak, we're not just totally dead for the turn. And I guess he does not. If he had leak there, I think he would have cast it, unless he already had the Gut Shot in hand. And like this way, if he counters... Okay, so he's got the Gut Shot. I guess that's fine. This way, I guess if he has the leak, we still could like do Trinket Mage next turn for it. We could attack her, but we're kind of walking right into Snapcaster, and I think I want to get a bit more value before I do. So I think we just pass here. There's the Snapcaster. Undoubtedly hoping to get as much value as possible. So like, it might have been better to save it for Geist. It's kind of hard to say. I think it was actually fine using Image the way we did. It's like that way he can't like double gut shot the Paladin. And I guess he might have Geist anyways. Or Destiny. Good lord. It's going to be pretty rough. So unfortunately we now have no way to sacrifice anything. We're going to be in a little bit of a tough place here. If we had Spell Scout one turn earlier for Destiny, that would have been great. Unfortunately, it did not happen. And Kiri's got to try to beat down. So we go Trinket Mage. Trinket Mage in the collar. And I guess we just got to try to race it. What can we draw here to pull us out of this? We can draw Gale. Pretty much need Gale at this point, because we don't have any way to sacrifice. We can like gut shot our own guy if we draw it, I suppose. If we have Collar in play. Yeah, definitely looking pretty grim here. So I think we just need to draw Gale. If we draw Gale, that would be amazing. Assuming he does not have the counter. What is the play? Let's see, so if we image Snapcaster, image Snapcaster for Gather. If we image Snapcaster for Gather and then draw either Gale or we draw Gut Shot, we don't quite lose. So we can make enough creatures to actually block. I think that almost has to be our plan. Otherwise we Trinket Mage for Collar, get Metalcraft. Let's see, next turn who gets us to... No, Gut Shot doesn't even work anymore, so we just need... We actually, I think, are just dead, unfortunately. Okay. So I guess in that case, if we Trinket Mage into... I think we just need to image... into Trinket Mage. Into Collar. Hope he's dumb enough to block, which I'm sure he will not be. I guess now we can like drop Spellskite. Spellskite doesn't even really help us here. That's the problem. I think we need the mana up for Metal Misstep because we'll be at 1 life. Okay, so how does this play out? So basically, so next turn he swings in, we go to 1, and we need to have enough action on the table to kill him. Let's see if we play Spell Scout. Gives us a 3rd attacker. Then he can block 1. Take 4. Well, hang on, let's take this through first a moment. So we attack with everybody next turn. If we have Spell Scout to make it with a 2 power, blocks the 3 power guy, he takes 4, no, it takes 6, goes to 1. If we play Trinket Mage, we have enough to get the collar to just barely win. I think that's actually the play. Like, if he has anything, we lose anyways. Because then otherwise if he has Favor Snag, it's over anyways. I think we just actually play Spell Scout and maybe possibly win. Snapcaster for Gut Shot. I think that's it right there. Has to be. Problem is that we can't use Metal Mist because then we die anyways. For Extraction? Okay. Guess we let that happen. Don't care about that. Really surprised he didn't just Gut Shot us and kill us. And we're literally dead on the table if he Gut Shots us here. But that's alright. I mean, unless he has like Rune Chanter's Pike or something. I mean, if he has anything, we're dead. Absolutely anything. Actually, we need this one to be on this guy here, in case he attacks. We hope that he attacks. He won't, but we can hope. Sword of War and Peace. Yeah, that's gonna do it. Okay. So we might have potentially been able to win on the next turn if he didn't have anything, but he did, unfortunately. I don't think we actually changed the board. I think we're just fine with where we are. So yeah, I did not expect to see the Angelic Destiny, and definitely being able to deal with that is huge. Spell Scout and Gale are going to go a decent way to deal with that, hopefully. Okay, happy with this, pretty happy with this hand. Yeah, I mean, it could definitely get there. We don't have Mental Misstep or Order Pod. I mean, there's definitely cards we could use for sure, but So like ideally he plays another Delver here, then we can Snapcast or Gut Shot it. I mean, we could just drop Snapcaster here. I think it's better just to keep Snapcaster around for a little bit, though. Okay, there's Geist. I mean, I suppose we could just Snapcast or Gut Shot him. Just seems kind of awkward. I want to try to get a bit more value. I think instead we just copy his guy. Oops. Happy to run out the mortar pot here. Now we can get way more value. And like ideally we don't want to recast it now just because he probably has mana leak and we want to play around that as much as we can. So like here we could like Snapcaster into Gather. I guess he has the misstep though. It's unfortunate. Ratchet Bomb is pretty rough. Okay, so now I mean, we can Snapcaster into Gather, and if he has mana leak, he just gets us. But it's probably never going to be a good time for it. And like just playing Spellskite's not that amazing. Oh god, what is the play? Otherwise, we could just wait. The problem is like by waiting, we just going to give him the advantage here. I think we just need to get something going. He has to dissipate. Alright. Alright, so I guess... Trinket Mage for... Yeah. I think we want to... I mean, Spellskite's pretty good, but I definitely want to have Trinket Mage for beating down. So I think we're first going to equip Spellskite. And then take out his Delver. So he could have Mana Leak here, but I think we just need to get some threats down on the table. Looks like he does have the Mana Leak. Or maybe not. Having this guy resolve is going to be pretty important, to be honest. Give us a much better chance of coming back into this game. Alright, so here I think we just, let's see, I think we could like play Collar, equip Collar, bash in, and then play Mortar Pod and get it. Or we could just like gather and then just use one of those guys. Like I think I want a little bit more value, so I think we're just going to drop Collar here. Like we're going to equip Mortar Pod first, so we don't get blown out. Now he's got tons of ammunition with his Moorland Haunt. Okay, but I think we're still just going to go Champion into Gather here. I guess we could play around Mana Leak here. Instead of dropping Gather, we could just like equip Collar onto the Spirit and then equip Mortar Pod. I think it's probably fine. I mean, if we drop Gather, we definitely are pushing more damage, but we also play around Leak by not playing it this turn. Don't think we need to play Gather this turn. We should equip Mortar Pod there first. That was a mistake. I suppose the other thing is that we play around Gut Shot by playing Gather this turn. It's just kind of hard to say. So you either play around one or the other. Like, I mean, it might have been better to hedge and equip the Collar to the Champion so at least get a little bit of value. Alright, so now I think we just like lead out with Gather, see what he does. I guess we could like equip Collar to the Champion, but it's nice to have the Flying Blocker. So I think we're just going to actually bash in and see what he does. We could also like drop Trinket Mage. However, if we draw another land, we'd get to play around Mana Leak. I definitely like playing around Mana because I think we know he's got him. There's no reason to give him the free value. I think we just sit. Well, I guess I like Collar on one of the humans at least here. But I mean, being able to block the flyers is definitely nice. I guess I think it's probably worth moving Collar over to one of the humans here. What the hell? Oh Jesus, we ran out of time. That's embarrassing. Oh my god. Yeah, so keep an eye on the time clock. Sorry about that one, guys.